Guns on beats, boy.
Kia ora team, here we are with Big Boys Boxing. We're going to have a bit of a different Friday night stream with only Kiwis and Aussies in tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Right now with me, I've got Mala2243. How you going, man?
Good, man.
Sweet as. Alright, so tonight we've got a really good domestic dust-up down here in Australia, at least next door anyway, and that's going to start. I've got coverage around 9:30 start on a stream. You can find that stream on VIP Box, or you can watch it on Fan Pass or Sky Arena pay-per-view down here in New Zealand. Main event in Australia, ESPN Plus, I believe, in the States, and so on and so forth. But yeah, Jeff Horn versus Anthony Mundine. I think it's going to be fun to watch. What do you reckon, Marla 40?
Yeah, I reckon Horn should be. I think his youth should get him home. It's going to be a vicious fight.
Yeah.
You know, I think Mundine he'll give it everything he's got. But I'm backing Jeff Horn. I think his age. You know, I mean, Mundine's was he 43 or something?
Oh, he's over 40 at least. I think he's only 41 actually, but he's over 40.
Yeah. Yes, actually.
Yeah. Is what it is. So how do you reckon Horny's going to get him? Is he going to stop him in the later rounds, earlier rounds, you reckon?
Yeah, I would go middle to late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll go 6 rounds at least. It won't be a quick thing, but yeah, I think the second half of the fight he'll get him. I've always questioned Mundine's chin.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony Mundine's chin, it's not very good really.
Yeah.
So yeah, here he is, he's 43.
Okay. Wow, he is older than I thought. I thought I heard him say on one of his interviews he's only 41.
Nah, 43. He's eight losses, 3 stoppages. So no, I think Horn should get him in the second half of the fight.
He's on the downhill, surely. He reckons he's not any normal kind of 40-year-old, but we'll see what happens with that. I'm picking Horn to stop him probably around 8 or 9, to be honest myself. I think, like you say, he's just going to be too much youth. Too much enthusiasm, too much pressure, and he's got enough power to put the old boy down too, I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For anybody else, Kiwis and Aussies who want to join, you can always drop me a line on Hangouts at kiwiboxjono@gmail.com, and we might be able to get you on if you'd like. I've got a few other invites out there. We're possibly going to be joined by Adam Fahey tonight. Boxing Squid's crook. He's crook, so he won't be joining us tonight. And we might see D-Rock Boxing dropping on us as well. So hopefully we can get some chat going about this local dust-up down here. But of course, on Sunday morning New Zealand time, Sunday afternoon New Zealand time, we have Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Massive fight for the year, massive. I'm really looking forward to that one. And there's a few other different fighters in action on that card as well. We've got Luis Ortiz is in action, but he's fighting Travis Kaufman. Not exactly world level. Well, he's definitely world level, but not elite world level. We've also got we've got someone else on that card, another heavyweight. Joe Joyce is fighting on that card as well. So could be an interesting night to watch. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Marla?
On fight by fight, who's Joe Joyce fighting?
I can't actually remember off the top of my head. That's how important it was.
With Cajano?
No, he's fighting. Shit, I did a video about it just the other day.
Yeah, Cajano. Who's he fighting?
Yeah, bear with me tonight. I'm pretty crook. Got a few paracetamols and whatnot in my system, so she's a bit tough to recall too much. I can hear you clicking. You're looking it up there.
Yeah, mate. Sweet. Hang on. I'll just let's see. Cajano. Oh, he's fighting Daniel Dubois on the 15th.
Yeah.
Of December.
Okay. Yeah, we've got Joe Joyce. It's Joe Hanks. Joe Hanks he's fighting. He's the guy who was a big hype job back in a few years ago until he met Andy Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz sparked him, took his O. So
okay.
He's a half decent boxer.
Yeah, 23, 15 stoppages, 2 losses, 1 KO.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be an interesting fight. You know.
Yeah.
He's 6'4".
It was definitely probably the best fighter that Joe Joyce would have fought to date. So
yeah.
It's still going in the right direction. So, you know, wouldn't it be choice if it was Luis Ortiz versus Joe Joyce on that card? That'd be fun.
Yeah. How old is Joyce? He started quite late in his...
He's 30-something. I think he's 32 or something there.
Yeah, so he hasn't actually got... He's going to have to move in his career. He's going to have to...
He is indeed. Who
else are we...
Sorry,
got... Who else? Joe Joyce on the fight card.
Is Jared Hurd on that card, is it? Or one of the Charlos?
Oh, yep. Yeah, that was a crack fight, eh?
Yeah, from what I remember.
Charlo, we talked about that fight. The guy was ranked about 5th in the rankings, but he had quite a few losses.
Yep. All right, so back to the main event on it. I suppose we'll get into a bit of chat about it. I know you and I have already spoken about it quite a bit. I was hoping we'd have some other Kiwis or Aussies in here so far, but nothing yet. But you can hear us ramble about the same opinions we've already given. I'm picking Deontay Wilder to stop Tyson Fury late on in the fight. But something I haven't mentioned is I've actually got a bet on Tyson Fury.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
I put a bit. I put a bit on Deontay.
Yeah, he wasn't paying enough for me to warrant a gamble. He was only paying $1.50 or something. So
for the stoppage.
Just for the... Oh, yeah, I think it was for the win, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did. I picked Deontay round 7 to 12, and I think it was either paying $3.50 or $4.50.
Okay. Damn near the same odds I had on Tyson Fury just to win by decision.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, you can't count Fury out. He's so slippery. No. But I just feel like it'll be a working out process for Deontay, but I just feel at some point he'll land that right hand. He'll find it. That's what I'm banking on, and I don't think Fury will be able to take it. I think he'll go down.
Interesting that they're paying that much. I would have thought it would have been paying much less for a Deontay Wilder knockout in the second half of the fight.
Yeah, well, I saw it and I thought, wow, that's not bad. I had a spare 20, so I threw it on.
Yeah, got to take a bite of that cherry. Shit.
Yeah, man. We've got a guy here, Sam Chudley. Any suggestions of where to stream Wilder Fury fight?
Yeah, VIP box or VIP league. You should be able to find something. But I've got this new site that I can find a lot of fights that we can't usually get on those streams. Just give me a sec here. I'll grab the link and drop it in the chat. You can search any sport and it does pretty well. You know, it's one of those ones where you got to click on it and get rid of a couple of pop-ups first, and then you're into a stream. But yeah, coming, copy. Don't sign up to anything in those pop-ups, just close them. There you go. Oh, that didn't work.
He wants to know if he could watch it on mobile or best to watch it on a PC.
I think either's okay, to be honest. Yeah. There's some stream sites I know don't work well on certain makes of phones and whatnot, but usually pretty good on a PC with any stream site. So yeah, make sure you got a good antivirus.
Yeah, that crick-free one. I remember that one you told me about.
Yeah, it's dead now.
Went on that. It is.
Yeah.
I went on that once, and I was lucky I had my antivirus working because there was an attack on my computer, but it got blocked.
Yep. Yeah, plenty of that. But these days, if you're running a computer without an antivirus, even if you're not on illegal sites, you're mad.
You are, mate. Yeah. You are. give it half an hour, you'll be infected.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So that site collapsed. Is it gone? What happened to it?
It's just someone's shut it down or something from wherever the source comes from. It's shut. It's gone. But yeah, VIP League and VIP Box are the ones I use mainly these days. They've got all the US and UK broadcasts. They happen to have the Horn fight tonight, but I think that's because it's being broadcast in the States on ESPN Plus, because you know, Jeff Horn's got that top rank connection with Bob Arum, so yeah. I guess it's a bit of a bonus for Horn fights that we don't usually get to see down here, because we don't have a stream unless you're in Australia, or we don't have a channel, and yeah, these stream sites don't seem to pick up smaller countries or not really boxing countries broadcasts. But,
yeah.
So that. Yeah, so have a look at who else is on this Horn card, if there's anybody worth mentioning. I think I had a look the other day and then forgot about it because I didn't see anything I liked. Give me a second. Yeah, I think that's right, sorry. Where are we? No, I can't find any names that I'm recognizing. Oh, Kai McKenzie. I've heard that name.
Just be a local, just a domestic card. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing great on it.
Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Pretty dry.
But the old Wilder, and I hope Wilder brings a jab. You know, if he could bring a really fast ramrod jab to set up that right hand, he could make, you know, pretty good work of this fight.
Yeah, man.
And plenty of body attack as well. You know, work the body.
Yeah, that was going to be my thing, especially early in the fight. He can't afford to sit around and start slow, trying to pick out headshots against Tyson Fury.
No, Fury, if he goes headshot crazy, Fury will make him miss.
Yeah, man.
So go downstairs and try and slow him down, and get him later on.
Yeah.
The jab though, I'd love to see Wilder use it. You know, set that right hand up. It'd be just such a perfect punch for him to use. Yeah,
especially make Fury extremely wary in those first few rounds. If he pumps it out with a bit of volume, it'll make Fury think twice about trying to get in and out. You might want to get in and try and stay up close, but
yeah, because I think for Deontay, he really wants to make this ugly.
Yeah,
want this to be an aggressive fight, and really I would go after Fury, make it an aggressive fight, really look to push the issue with him, and don't let him get comfortable, and just give him the time to box and move and get fancy. You know, try and shut Fury's time down.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little bit desperate inside to prove that he's not a one-trick pony, to be honest. He wants to show more skill, and do a job on a very skilled fighter. Pretty tall task, but
yeah, mate.
We'll see.
If I was him, if I was him, I'd go after Fury, man. I'd be trying to mount as much pressure as possible, cut down Fury's time, and don't give him the ring so that he can dance around and, you know, do what he does.
Yeah. Do
that style. Yeah. So hopefully that's how it plays out. But, you know, I've got my money on Wilder anyway. So
yeah, I think that bet will do well. I wish I had seen it. I could have doubled up. Excuse me.
Oh, Hoary State of Mind says Hope Parker gives you an interview.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the videos I put up today with those two interviews.
Yep.
Courtesy of Duco. But yeah, hoping I'll get the real thing myself when I get down there in 3 weeks' time, or 2 weeks' time. So that'd be choice. Yeah.
Make sure ask him about his elbows.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And interesting to see if they're 100%. They should be now.
Yeah, and his back too. We never heard much about that after that Takum fight. So hopefully, it's all good. who else is on this card here? Lewis Ortiz says it's chief main event. Oh no, sorry, that's Wilder's record, not the event. Stupid. Where are we? The event. Yeah, Jarrett Hurd's on that card as well, defending his 2 titles. John Wellborn. Yeah, I heard about this fight. It's not exactly the highest level fight. It should be a relatively straightforward win for Jarrett Hurd, but he is coming off surgery and he wants to test out his shoulder. So,
yeah, Jason Wellborn.
Yeah, Jason Wellborn. It's not the best fight in the world, but Jarrett Hurd's pretty entertaining to watch, so worth a look for sure, I think.
That was on the undercard, is it?
Yeah, that's the chief support event.
Oh, yeah.
The third one down is Ortiz versus Kaufman. That should be a half decent fight. I expect to see at least 6 rounds in that fight.
It's not a bad card, really, eh?
It's not that bad at all. Then the fight before that's Joe Hanks and Joe Joyce. So good to see Joe Joyce out again, but I think that one might be a bit shorter fight. I mean, Joe Hanks can box, but he doesn't have the best chin, so if he gets tagged with the Juggernaut's big right hand, it's going to be all over. Who else of note have we got on here? Chris Arreola. Are you kidding me? It is.
Back.
Chris Arreola is fighting a nobody. He's 20-10-4, Mr. Nobody. Smith. Moranzo Smith.
I was on that boxing channel. They had a podcast. You know that 78 something or other it's called, the African American guys.
78 Sports TV. Yep.
I think that's it. They were getting excited. It was either was it today or yesterday? They were all getting excited about it, and Fury's scared, and he's going to get smashed. He doesn't realise what he's getting himself into.
True.
They're all getting pretty excited about it.
True that. We got D-Rock Boxing in the house. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro. Loud and clear.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I don't have my headphones. Couldn't find them, but
it's all good.
Hopefully it goes all right.
No echoes, man. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
All right, man. So we're just talking about the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury card. There's a few heavyweights fighting on that card, plus the Jarrett Hurd, Jason Wellborn fight. So
yep.
You're going to be watching that card if you can, mate?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'll be watching that. I'll buy the pay-per-view, and hopefully they'll give us the Joe Joyce and Luis Ortiz fights on that.
Yeah, man, I'm even looking further down the card and hoping, because Chris Arreola's making a return to the ring.
Ah, yes.
So I hope
nightmare.
They're going to get that on the telecast as well. So yeah, I wonder what he's building towards, because he's getting on. He's getting long in the tooth.
Just some money, I guess.
Yeah, must be.
Bit of a Kiwi saver.
Yeah, bro. We also have Travis Kaufman fight on there with Luis Ortiz. Did you think much of that fight there, D-Rock?
Not overly. I think Ortiz will easily outclass him, and it'll just be kind of similar to the Razvan fight, I would think. Something along those lines, just kind of a couple rounds up there. Maybe not early knockout. Maybe I'll get, possibly 4 to 6 rounds out of it.
Yeah. You think you'll definitely stop him though?
Yeah, that's the way I'm thinking, especially after what he did to Razvan.
Yeah. Well,
he's definitely got some power in there.
Yep. Cool, Les. And Marla, we didn't ask you whether you thought Ortiz is actually really going to stop him, or is it possibly going to go all the way?
I think Ortiz will stop him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to say he's going to go the distance, but he'll clean him up easy. I didn't actually look at that. Is it a 12 rounder? It's probably only a 10 rounder.
It's a 10
Yeah,
rounds. And Kaufman always had one stoppage. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ortiz to stop him.
Yeah. He's got a big punch, man. If he hits him flush airs and no deflections, for sure Ortiz is going to stop him. But somebody's got to go against the green, eh? And for the main event, what did you reckon the D-Rock boxing? Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. How do you think it's going to go?
Well, initially when I first heard about this fight, I was pretty adamant that Deontay Wilder knocks him out all day long. And that was going on the condition he had been in, only having 2 fights, being out for so long. And in his Sefa Safari fight and the Pianeta fight, he was not in the condition that he's in now. Where I see him now, he's a lot closer to kind of how he used to be. And that's kind of made me think, initially I would say the old Tyson Fury should beat Wilder. But I'm still going to have to say I think Wilder is going to catch him and he's going to knock him out.
Yep. Later in the fight or mid rounds, you reckon?
Yeah, 6+.
6+. Fair enough. And you're pretty much on the same page there, aren't you, Miller?
Yeah, man. Yeah, 6+ knockout. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going round 9. I think was my official round of choice. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight either way. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Tyson does come out and box his head off and cleans him up. You know, I don't think he'll shut him out or anything, but you know, it's possible that he could take 10 rounds off him. He's that good a boxer.
Oh yeah,
and you know,
you can't count him out.
If he's actually in even better shape than he was against Klitschko, like he's saying he is, shit, yeah, Deontay's in real trouble. But we just don't know. That's what makes it so exciting. Alright, so did you want to have a go at the Jared Hurd, Jason Wellborn fight there, D-Rock?
I'm going to say Jared Hurd wins that. I don't really know too much about Wellborn to be able to say whether it's going to go the distance or a stoppage.
Yeah.
But I think they're a bit of a mismatch, the undercard fights. So the main guy's going to win, and the guy who's in there against them is basically there to lose.
Yeah, pretty much the whole way through the rest of the card, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Hurd. I'll go for Hurd by stoppage.
Yeah. I'm going to go Hurd probably by stoppage too. It might only take him 7 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds, in my opinion, but we'll be watching anyway. Alright, so I guess you're going to be watching the fight tonight as well then, D-Rock, between Jeff Horn and Anthony the Mouth Mundine.
Yeah, you were saying something about you're going to stream it on your channel.
I'm not going to stream it on my channel, but there is a
link to a stream.
Yeah, there is a link. I've actually
awesome.
got it open right now, and I'll go and drop it in the chat. Well, actually, I'll just leave it in the description or the comments after this video is finished, and make it easy for everybody to go and find. It's one of those sites you got to click on, play about 3 times, you get pop-ups, you close those, and then it loads up and you're away. So.
Oh, yep. Is it that crick free?
It's not crick free because that's dead. It's VIP League. It's called. But yeah, I'll drop the link afterwards and go from there. The broadcast starts at 9:30 on that site, so we've got a little while, but not too long.
So the main fight won't be till about midnight-ish.
Probably.
With the time difference.
Yeah, for sure. Lucky it's Friday.
yeah.
So yeah, all good. Alright, is there anything else while you're here, D-Rock? Because Marla's been on quite a few times recently. Some of the stuff that's going on in other fights in the division, is there any that you'd like to bring up and talk about?
One that comes to mind is the Razvan versus Daniel Dubois fight.
That could be quite interesting, eh?
Yeah, I think that is quite interesting. I would have liked Razvan to have done better against Luis Ortiz, but that kind of just speaks of the quality of Luis Ortiz to get him out the way he did.
Yep.
And as Daniel Dubois went the distance with Kevin Johnson, possibly Razvan might trouble him. I don't think Razvan will win, but he may be able to go the distance with him, or at least give him a good amount of rounds before the inevitable happens.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that one there, Marla?
Yeah, I'm picking it to go some rounds. I agree, but I think Dubois should be able to stop him. But it'll probably be the second half of the fight again.
Yeah.
I think Kajanu, he's got that. Well, it depends on how Kajanu approaches it. If he does what he did against Parker, it's definitely going to go past the 6th round. It's going to, he's going to have to break him down.
Yeah.
But I am picking Dubois to get the stoppage though. Probably the second half of the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm picking this one to go the distance, believe it or not. I think Razvan kind of learned a valuable lesson against Ortiz. But like you say, Ortiz is a very high-level boxer. And as soon as Raz started trying to show some actual aggression in the fight, he'd get knocked the fuck out. So, we'll see how he goes against Daniel Dubois. I mean, if he balances his... Because he's actually got pretty good defense, has Raz, but I think he has trouble putting it together with offense and decent movement at the same time. So we'll see what happens, what frame of mind he is when he comes into that fight. But certainly picking Daniel Dubois to win. I think Raz, even if he loses, goes the distance and makes a real scrap of it, he's still going to increase his stock from where he's sitting at the moment. So it'll be in his best interest to show some aggression at the very least, instead of the negative performance that he gave against Joseph Parker. Yeah. That is a cool fight though. I thought maybe you might be interested also in the Leopai versus Gorman fight there, D-Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am actually, because Leopai, I watched him against Klitschko, and I mean there was a height difference and a reach difference, and was kind of always going to turn out the way that it did. Gorman's looking pretty decent in his kind of training clips that I've seen of him. Leopai, he could get him with a shot, but I think he's kind of just there as a name, an ex-title contender or title challenger, just to kind of make it look good, so then Dubois and Gorman could possibly fight each other in the next fight.
That'd be lovely. I wish it would happen. It doesn't look like Frank Warren wants it to happen though. To a degree, just from some of the clips I've been watching of Daniel Dubois lately, I think it's probably wise for Frank to save him for a little bit longer. He doesn't actually look that fluid to me. He looks very, I guess you could say, manufactured, very robotic. But he's definitely got very good punch selection, a lot of power. He can move, he's young, he's very bouncy on his toes a lot. Yeah, boy's got to start moving his head big time, or a bit of upper torso movement, in my opinion. And I think Gorman's a lot higher skill level and honed his skills. He's been boxing all his life, whereas Daniel Dubois hasn't. So, interesting fight though. Marla, any thoughts, mate?
Yeah, just looking at guy. I'm surprised Leopai's still around, 39 years old.
Yeah, man. Well, he's younger than Klitschko.
Yeah, it's true. 7 losses, 3 stoppages.
Same age as Povetkin. There you go.
Yeah. He lost 3 in a row, and then he started getting himself a few wins against some average opponents. I'd probably go for that Gorman's got a good stoppage record, but I don't know what's his opponents, and sort of it's hard to say whether he'll stop him. I think he'll win Gorman, but
yeah,
whether or not he can get the stoppage, that's remains to be seen. He's got a good knockout record, but his opponents are not, anything great.
Yeah, it's Alex Leopold too. He's never actually been proper knocked out. Never. He's been stopped a few times, but he's never been proper KO'd. So he's got one of those very tough Islander jaws.
I'd go for Gorman on points, I think.
Yeah. I'm going for I'm in an hour in between a stoppage, a referee stoppage, or a towel getting thrown in, and a decision. I don't think there's no way Gorman's going to spark him or stop him early. Interesting though, very interesting. There was also another one that I thought you might be interested in. Who was it? Washington versus... Who did he get announced to be fighting? Oscar Rivas. Oscar Rivas, undefeated prospect. He's a Olympian medalist. Can't remember what medal it was. Might have been bronze. He beat Kubrat Pulev in the amateurs. He's a pretty decent boxer, but he's only 6 foot tall. Fighting Gerald Washington, and I watched his last fight a few days ago on replay against John Wesley No Fire. If you haven't seen that fight, it's definitely worth going and having a look, man. No Fire was coming off a bit of a shock loss, or he thought it was a shock loss, against Joey A. Bell, so he had a point to prove. And Gerald Washington coming off losses from Deontay Wilder and Jarrell Miller. He has a point to prove as well. He's taken on a new coach, and he's got a few new aggression levels there. So you go check that fight out. I think that's a real interesting fight as well.
It's Gerald Washington. He's got the fight with Kaunaki as well, hasn't he? Gerald Washington, Adam Kaunaki, 26th of the 1st, 2019.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Rivas is against another guy.
He must be. I'm getting my wires crossed there. He's fighting somebody else that's really decent. Who the hell was it? I expected Rivas to lose the fight too. I did a damn video on it. Let me see.
Yeah. Hey, can I get your guys' thoughts on Michael Hunter?
You want to start there, Marla?
Oh no, I'm not up. Hang on. Who were the? What was that one?
He's a guy who just beat Ustinov, and
yep.
And he beat
Bacoli.
Martin Bacoli a few weeks before that.
I won 9th round stoppage. I haven't seen that fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
I'll jump on it, man. I thought Michael Hunter, I thought he was going to win that fight prior to it. I can't remember if I gave a video prediction or I just said it in a stream somewhere, but I expected Hunter to win pretty much the way he did. I thought Ustinov might go the distance though, but I think he's going to cause some real waves. He's a lot like what Usyk's going to do in the heavyweight division. Old rivals, those two as well. So
that's his only loss to Usyk.
Yeah, and he made Usyk look not quite the worst. I think Breedis made Usyk look the worst out of every fight in his pro days so far. But Michael Hunter was certainly competitive against Usyk. So styles make fights, I guess. But
is he ranked, Michael Hunter?
He will be, because he's just picked up it was a WBO International or something title, something like that. So he'll definitely be in the rankings. Ustinov was already in the rankings. They
won the vacant World Boxing Association International Heavyweight title.
WBA International. There you go. Marla's on the mouse. Good shit. Yeah. What do you reckon of Michael Hunter there, D-Rock?
I wouldn't have picked him to beat Bacoli. I thought Bacoli was quite powerful, and after training with Anthony Joshua for the Povetkin fight, that he would have been in good condition to beat him, but he seemed to kind of gas. I don't know if there was kind of like an arm problem against Bacoli, or when Bacoli was fighting Hunter, but he kind of just got beaten up towards the later rounds.
Yeah.
Ustinov, yes, I thought he should beat Ustinov because Ustinov's kind of on the downward slide. Although Ustinov does have the height and kind of reach advantages, he's kind of not what he used to be anymore.
He lost a Char, and that's not saying much for his form, really, is it? So
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, mate, cut you off. You finished there?
Yeah, I think Hunter will do quite well. Something like maybe the Bellew level, somewhere around there, but maybe not kind of Parker, Dillian Whitish level. I think those guys kind of beat him. Jarrell Big Baby probably beat him. Yep.
What about Usyk in comparison at heavyweight? Do you think he's going to cause more troubles than Hunter will?
I think Usyk will do better than Hunter will. I watched the Junior Farr versus Usyk, and I think it was
World Series of
one
boxing.
of the amateur.
Yeah, World Series of Boxing.
Yes, yes. And Farr was doing quite well with his movement, but Usyk was able to win every round, and I don't know if that was a home advantage, or I may have given a round here and there to Farr, but that might be just a bias that I have. But after seeing what he did to Farr, then I can see that when he moves up to heavyweight, he should still be quite decent. You know, Bellew is doing all right for himself and set a good kind of bar, and Usyk should kind of lift the bar, shall we say. Yeah. But I don't think he can beat Joshua.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you think he's got a shot at beating Joshua there, Marla, since we're on it?
I just want to... What's his reach?
I think he's 76 inches.
78, I think.
78, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think he might struggle. I think AJ... I was impressed with the way AJ took control of Parker with the jab. He really pinned him to the outside. He pretty much pinned Povetkin to the outside with a jab. And if you notice, most of these smaller heavyweights haven't been able to get the better of Joshua. And I would not be surprised to see Joshua do a similar job on Usyk. Just make it very hard for him to get inside and use what he has. Yeah, and I think Joshua would beat him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't find out who Rivas was fighting, did I? Let's see if I can look that up, because there was an interesting fight he was into. Oscar Rivas. I had a commenter jump on my channel when I did a video about the fight, because I was worried about Oscar Rivas. He's been having trouble getting medical clearance after an eye issue, eye injury he had a couple of years ago, and he's only been able to get a license to box in Canada. But apparently
Brian Jennings.
Oh yeah.
He's got another fight before that though. He's got this
Fabio
Maldonado.
Yeah,
who's actually unbeaten, but he's fought nobody. So it should be a pretty straightforward fight still for Rivas. But the commenter on my channel has something to do with Rivas and says the problem's been sorted. So hopefully that means that he can get the required license and he can get his ass down the States and fight for
fight
for the
detached retina?
That's it.
Did he have Oh, yeah.
Yeah, detached retina.
Yep.
That's a pretty big injury too, so...
Yeah, man.
We'll see.
It sounds nasty.
Yeah, well, retinas have got lots of nerves in there, and nerves don't repair very well, so... We'll see. Hopefully Hopefully it's not just paying somebody off and he's putting himself in danger to get a medical clearance or anything silly like that. But yeah, looking forward to seeing that fight as well. What card? It was a decent card, that too. Apparently, someone told me. Oh, it's hardly anything announced on it yet. Shakur Stevenson, TBA, but Shakur Stevenson's a pretty interesting fighter to watch at the moment. Up and coming prospect, still got to know. Was an Olympian, so we'll see who he's going to fight. Could be an interesting card. It's a little way away yet though. Alright, is there any more fights you lads could think of that you want to bring up before we think about?
Yep.
Yeah, mate.
Yep.
Shoot.
I can think of 3 fights. Gina Farr versus this Argentinian guy, Flores Parker, and Hughie Fury versus Joe Joyce.
Oh.
That should be interesting.
I hope that's going to happen, to be honest. The Joe Joyce, Hughie Fury.
Yeah,
but
man.
I can see Hughie running for the hills in that one, to be honest. Joe Joyce fighting somebody else for the, is it British title?
Yeah, I think Hughie has to defend that.
Isn't that the Dubois versus Gorman fight?
No, that's an English one, I think.
That was English title. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense now. But yeah, do you think Hughie's going to run for the hills, or you think he might actually take that fight there, D-Rock?
I don't think Hughie can stand toe-to-toe with Joe Joyce. They're both relatively the same height, 6'6", and the styles. Joe Joyce is a kind of pressure fighter, come forward, combos, and Hughie is kind of back foot, dance around him and just put the jab out there. So yeah, I think maybe Joe Joyce might take it out.
Yep.
Just after the how Hughie was beaten by Pulev.
Yep. What do you reckon?
Based on that.
What do you reckon there, Dad? On that one. Oh, sorry. Mala.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Joyce actually just beat him down. I was just shocked at how bad he looked against Pulev, and I mean, Joyce is not the fastest guy, but I think if he can just walk Fury down, get him on the ropes, and he should be able to beat him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll stop him.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll get into these Kiwi boys clash that's coming up on the 15th of December. I'm gonna be there thanks to the Rock FM. Yeah, I'll get a meet and greet as well, so I'm happy about that. But there's a few fights on there that's worth looking at. There's also the Brown Butterbean. Dave Latali has come out of retirement to give Manu Vatuvai his professional boxing debut. It's a bit of a laugh, really. Every time a Kiwi that's interested in boxing hears Dave Latali or the Brown Butterbean, we all got to have a laugh, because he's not a real boxer, but he's a good character these days. He's an advocate for obesity in New Zealand, or the war against obesity in New Zealand, and good on him for getting in the ring with the beast, Manu Vatuvai. How you guys think that fight will go?
I would. I'll go for Manu on points.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a big dude. I'm gonna go for 1 point. So yeah.
I haven't actually looked at that. How many rounds is it? Might be just a 4-rounder or something like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting, I think. What do you reckon, D-Rock?
My initial thoughts on it is that the Brown Butterbean, when he had weight, he had power, and now that he's lost quite a lot of that weight, it seemed like his power's diminished.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe Manu can get him because of that. But Dave Latali did beat Manu's brother, Horse. But that was when he was bigger and did have a bit more power with the weight that he had. whether he can do it against a basically full-time professional athlete for two odd decades or something, yeah, maybe not with the weight loss.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Excuse me, I'm just changing over from my PC to my phone. You can see I've got another person in there. I'll just turn my desktop mic off and I'll be with you in just a sec. But you can start while I'm doing that, D-Rock, with Junior Fa versus Rogelio Omar Rossi. What do you reckon of that fight?
Well, Rossi's a bit taller than Fa, isn't he? He's come from cruiserweight, but I don't think he's going to pose him much of a threat. Seeing as Fa's had his anemia, I think it was, the iron deficiency, kind of sorted that out. He's been training with Deontay Wilder, so he's, as he said himself, he's kind of they more of a scientific way of training as opposed to just hard work. And he may have picked up a few things off and just the confidence from getting in there and sparring with Deontay and being able to do his thing and stand his ground against him. I think he'll get him with this other guy and just be fully confident that he's going to destroy him. So I would like to see a knockout. That would be the primo thing to happen. But going on his past performances, say with this Mexican Pascual, he didn't quite get it there, and the previous one before that, whether that was due to this iron deficiency thing or some other reason, I'm not too sure, but I'd like to see him do it, but it's kind of up in the air whether he'll get the stoppage or not.
All right, what do you reckon there, Muller?
Oh, I'm going to back Junior Fa for a stoppage. I'm thinking all going well. He's got himself better, and with his lack of iron, and I think the other guy's been stopped a few times as of late, and so I'm going to back Junior to get a stoppage. Sweet.
He's a bit of a tall beanpole, this guy. Being 6'7" in cruiserweight, you know that he must be even lighter than Deontay.
Yeah, what is he weighing in? About 214 his last fight.
Oh yeah, it's pretty borderline.
6'6.5" and 214. It's pretty stringy.
Oh, can you boys hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. Sitting in my garage now. He's definitely a long drink of water, isn't he? He weighs about 219 most of the time. So, yeah, he's got a bit of a soft chin, I think, though. So, I think if Junior hits him flush, he's going to hurt him, and then he's going to go to town and make that statement. But he can box a bit. If you haven't seen the fight already, you can go back and watch him fight Marco Hutt for the cruiserweight title a few years ago. And he was boxing not too bad. I mean, Marco Hutt still managed to take care of him. Also managed to smack him after the bell in the fifth round and knock him down and get penalised 2 points for it. But yeah, he can box a bit, so then you might get some rounds out of him. I'm actually starting to worry a little bit about these the Mexican Flores guy. He's very, very confident for the fight against Justice Parker. So you want to get into that one. You want to start, Muller. What do you reckon of that fight?
Yeah, it's you look at Flores' record, and there's no one really on there of any consequence. But he does have a good record, and he sees this as his his step-up fight. He feels it's going to get him, it's going to get him right in the game. So it's, you always have to, I feel a degree of respect for the guy, you know. I mean, he's young, 28, 6'4", a lot of stoppages, even though the opponents aren't, you know, anything exceptional. I still treat him with some respect, but I do want to see Parker. I want to see Parker beat the shit out of him. To put it bluntly, I want to see him hammer him. I want to see him using his jab properly. I want combinations off the jab. I want him getting inside. I want him going first with his punches. I want to see that viciousness, you know. I've talked about it so much before. I want to see him fight like Evander Holyfield did in the prime of his career. And if Parker does that, he should be able to knock this guy over. But so it's all just the question marks are there about, you know, Parker's camp. They have been guilty of talking a good talk and at times and then not delivering, you know. So I just hope in this fight he can put it all together and put in that performance we want to see and that he needs to put in. He's got to win this convincingly, you know. Yeah.
Just while you were saying, yeah, something that Boxing Squared would say has been consistently coming out of the Parker camp has been rinse and re-rinse. You know, the same shit. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and the same old shit keeps coming out of the factory. So
yeah, mate, it's like it's the best camp we've ever had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and it doesn't amount to anything, and I'm so sick of it. I just want to see him come out. His elbows have got to be good. He's had his elbows operated on months ago. There's no excuses, man. It's like, get in there and do it, man. You're talking about you bringing mongrel, well, bring it. You know, yeah. I want to see him brutal in there, man.
For sure. D-Rock, what do you reckon, mate? How's it going to go?
Well, yeah, as you say, Flores has quite a decent kind of knockout record. He has lost to Charles Martin, but that was, I think, at a short notice, something like 2 weeks notice. So maybe he could be forgiven for that. Maybe if he had a full camp, he would have turned up in better condition. The height different. Our height is the same. You know, they're kind of two evenly physically matched guys. I don't know how his movement is compared to Parker. Parker's very good with his movement. And they have been talking in his camp about their power for this, strength and conditioning and working on power. So they're obviously looking to get a knockout. And he is, if Charles Martin can drop him, so I would think Parker could probably do the same to him, whether it's a one hit or it's an accumulation and just kind of beat down type thing, like he did to Dillian.
Yep.
Although he didn't stop Dillian, he got him down, you know.
Yeah.
I think Flores is more taking this. I guess he's got some confidence from, you know, sparring and training with Andy Ruiz. I mean, if he can take the power of Andy Ruiz, then he should, in theory, be able to take Parker's power. But maybe Ruiz don't move like Parker. Although he's got fast hands, his feet and all of that, that's not so great. He's more of a kind of a plodding coming forward type guy. I think he's just taking this. Yeah, he may think that he's got a good chance, but I don't think he has that much of a chance. He's got to come to New Zealand. There's the jet lag and the time difference that he's got to deal with. Be a hostile crowd down in Christchurch. And whether he knows it or not, he's basically here to be another one on the KO list for Parker. So that's the way I see it. But I hope he puts on a good performance, and I hope that Parker can get the knockout.
Yep, me too. Definitely a one on the KO line that we haven't had for a while from Joe. And it's good that if he does do it, of course, that he's going to do it at home and you know, give us some spectacular clip that we haven't been able to play for a while. But yeah, I'm pretty much picking the same. I think Flores is he's going to make a go of it for sure. The first 4 rounds, maybe it's going to be possibly pretty competitive. But I've got my fingers crossed that Flores isn't underestimating Joseph's power, because he can punch. If he thinks that Joe's got pillow hands, he's going to be on his back looking at the lights real quick. So he's going to have to be smart about it, I think. And I think he's got enough skill, just from what I've seen, to be able to hang with Parker for a few rounds at least, if his chin holds up. So, but it all depends on what Parker comes to the ring too. If he gets some of that beast that we saw in his younger career into that fight, Flores could also be looking at the lights real quick. So it'll be good to see some increased aggression levels and some inside fighting. I'd love to see Joe doing some proper inside fighting instead of trying to tie up and be so cautious. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. All right. So yeah, I think my official correction was round 7, 8, or 9 for Parker. But yeah, good luck to Flores as well. And one other point there I wanted to touch on was Flores will definitely be able to deal with the hamstring at least, having fired lots of LD. But yeah, like D-Rock was saying, the movement's going to be something totally different to combine with it. All right. Is that about it for us, guys? Any more fights you'd like to bring up before we think about wrapping it up?
No, that's about everything covered, man.
One that I would like to get some feedback on was, have you guys watched the Lucas Brown Junior Party fight?
No.
It's up on the Glad Rat channel. If you wanted to see it with Marla.
Oh, sweet.
I'll have a quick ramble about that. I thought it was pretty much what was to be expected. I was a little bit impressed with at least the conditioning of Lucas Brown. He looked in prime condition. He's done some real hard work to get back from where he was. He was looking sort of nimble for Lucas Brown in the fight, moving around a bit. Junior was really spoiling big time in that fight. So I think Brown did well to try and keep his composure to a degree. But you could see he was getting frustrated. And sooner or later, he had to figure out that the uppercut was always there for Junior, trying to come in and lie on him all the time like that. So short the uppercut's a big shot for somebody with that much size advantage. Junior could have some potential possibly if he got down to light heavyweight. He's too short for heavyweight in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's 5'8", Junior Party.
Yeah. So, think about it. David Cool was only 5'9", so...
Yeah. They have a different, BMI? Body mass index?
Yeah, hugely different. So what did you reckon of that fight there, D-Rock?
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying about we kind of got what we expected we would get. The 6'5" Lucas Brown coming in almost career best shape, and then Junior Party, they said he was 130 kgs and then had lost so much weight. I mean, he was 5'8" versus 6'5", and it just wasn't going to happen for him basically. Not with a puncher like Brown. I think Brown came over here. He did a very good job. If you watch the Glad Rap kind of videos, he kind of promoted himself very well. Came across very good, and I would like to see him and Parker possibly in the next one. I think that fight is there if they can both. Lucas is coming off a win. And Parker, if he can take this one out, maybe KO, I think that fight might be there for the taking.
Yeah, enough. Personally, I think Joe would outclassed Lucas Brown quite considerably. I think it might be a bit of a mismatch. I would actually prefer to see Junior Farr face Lucas Brown. I think that's a better matchup. But from Lucas Brown's point of view, if he could get Joseph Parker over Junior Farr, it makes much more sense. If he's confident he could beat Parker again, it would give him much bigger respect and kudos for beating him. Whereas Junior Farr, I think that most people would agree, seems to have a bit more to learn to get to the level that Joseph's on at the moment. But Lucas Brown, on his good day, he could really trouble and possibly even beat Parker. The fight he had against the guy was a pretty damn good fight, I thought. So I guess we're just going to have to wait to see where Lucas Brown is at when he steps up in competition level just a little bit, to see if he's anywhere back to that fighting form. He's in pretty much that shape. But, we'll see. What do you reckon then, Marla?
Yeah, one fight. I would prefer to see Junior Farr fight Lucas. What I would like to see Parker do would be, if you get this fight won, I'd love to see him go to the States and fight Dominic Breazeale, because stylistically it would be like Holyfield Foreman. I think the styles of the two guys, you got the smaller, fast guy against this big lumbering guy who's slow but has got heaps of power. I think it'd make a good fight, and have it fight in Vegas or something.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, that would be a good fight.
Yeah. How do you think it might go there? Do what?
Well, this is based on how Izu did. Izu was doing quite well until he basically gassed and started getting caught by, as you say, the big lumbering giant. I think Parker's got too much conditioning, too much movement, and he possibly can bang just as hard or harder than Izu, and has a more solid chin than Izu. That going on that, I would say Parker should win that fight. But it would be a good fight, just like the Izu versus Breazeale fight was.
Yeah. And just
Breazeale's definitely got heart. That's the thing. He'll get up. He won't go on the first knockdown. He'll get up and he'll keep coming.
Yeah. And just a shout out to those boys. That was a freaking good fight, man. That was my most enjoyable fight of, was it 2017? No, it might have been 2015. No, it was 2015. Early, wasn't it? Yeah. That was entertainment at its best, man. Love that shit.
It was.
Yeah, I like that fight as well. I think Parker would possibly stop him around 10, somewhere there or something like that, just for accumulation. But good fight, and yeah, Breazeale. Against Easy, I was so surprised he managed to last through those body shots. I watched that fight every 3 or 4 weeks just for shits and giggles. But those body that Easy was ripping into Breazeale, I don't know how he managed to stay upright, man. That was massive body shot. So, good fight.
Yeah.
There was one other one on that Brown versus Putty card that was worth mentioning. Henry Ahio had a fight against
Conrad Lamb.
Yeah, the 435-pound punching bag, pretty much. But Henry's fighting again in a couple of weeks too. So he's getting busy, looking to do something in next year. Where he's going to go. I'd like to see him fight Willis Leon in the next year or two. That'd be awesome. But yeah, against Conrad Lamb, I thought he looked pretty decent. Plenty of speed, plenty of power. Conrad Lamb was too hard to knock over, being that big, I think. But what do you reckon, D-Rock?
Yeah, I think Conrad Lamb, he does possess a lot of power. It's similar to Brown Butterbean, being that much weight. I mean, if you can swing 100, I think it was 197 kgs or something like that, if you can swing that around, then you're going to do some damage if you land. But He's probably half as quick as Brazil, and I think if he was to lose the weight, then he wouldn't be what he is. Hemi, he's 6 foot, so he's good for what he is. I don't know how far he can go in the heavyweight division, being 6 foot. I think it's he's pushing shit uphill.
Yep.
But all the best to him, all the best to him, and that Willis Meehan would be a good fight. I don't know. Willis is 6'5" and bangs pretty hard, so I could see Willis maybe taking that out.
Good point. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about his height, but it has been something I've brought up in a couple of my videos. I'd really like to see him at cruiser, and he said on video that he can make cruiserweight too. So I think he'd be real competitive at pretty damn elite level at cruiserweight. Am I sad on that one there, Mala?
Yeah, I didn't see that fight. Yeah, but I think I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah, at 6 foot. He's a real hard punching Polynesian, but I think I know the guy you mean. I think I remember we talked about it before, and at 6 foot, I think he needs to go cruiser.
Yeah, he needs a heat. He is. He's actually has trained with Junior Farr in the past, and now he's just hooked back into the same gym at City Kickboxing, and they're training together as well again. So the Tonga boys sticking together. Interesting. All right, lads. Any more to add before we wind her up?
That's about it. 9:23.
Yeah, just about time for the Horn card. I will drop that link in the chat below this video. Once it loads the archive, it'll be there straight away. So, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Been a pleasure as usual. You got any final words before we head off to D-Rock?
Final words is I guess I'm going to give a prediction on this Mundine versus Horn fight, because I don't think we've spoken about that. I think Jeff Horn's going to win this through just constant pressure. I think Mundine will he'll come out, he'll put on a good performance, and then he'll start to tire and weaken, and Horn will put the pressure on and probably get him in the stoppage. I'm thinking, whether it's a referee stoppage as opposed to a clean knockout or anything like that. I do have Jeff Horn winning it. I just can't see Mundine at 42 years of age getting it over TBE Jeff Horn.
Fair enough. So we did cover that fight at the start of the thing, but I forgot you hadn't got your opinion on that one. So, thank you for that. And thank you very much for popping in and joining us today, D-Rock.
No worries. Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Any final words there, Marla?
No, just good talking to you, man, and I'll talk to you on the next stream after the Deontay fight.
Will do, bud. All right, lads. This is D-Rock Boxing and Marla 242 and Big Boys Boxing, formerly known as KIWI Box. Yeah.
See you, man.